Hello podcasters! Did you ever hear that no device is perfect? Well, in this video, I have envisioned 3 podcasting device iterations that would actually be perfect. And what better time of the year to express the wishes I have for the next generation of podcasting gear and devices than at Christmas? So let's start with the Christmas wish list with Rode. You see, when Rode released its RodeConnect software, I was amazed. I was amazed because of 6 reasons. First, it enabled up to 4 USB mics to be connected and recognized by a computer. Well done. Second, it had a built-in mix minus, which makes it possible to easily record remote guests on its virtual and system channels. Third, speaking of recording, it has a recording function, which no other accompanying software had so far. Now, if it wasn't exciting enough, fourth, not only is able to record, but it is also able to record in multitrack, and it can export recordings at the desired loudness level. And last, but very much not least, it's free. So ever since they released it, I somehow got into the habit of guessing on Twitter the next step from Rode in how they utilize this amazing piece of free software. I first assumed that the Rode Video Mic NTG would be the next logical step to work with it, and boom, there it was. They have enabled it a few days after my tweet. Then the Wireless Go 2 was updated to work with RodeConnect as well, and if you connect the Wireless Go 2, you actually have the added benefit that it records to 2 separate mono channels. So if you enable multitrack recording in RodeConnect, which you happily can, you don't even have to worry about splitting the left and right channels into 2 separate tracks. Then I assumed that the next device to work with RodeConnect would be an audio interface, upon which Rode released the AI Micro, which is an audio interface, even though I was thinking of something slightly different. As this is a compact one, it fills a gap, as it does connect with their video microphones with a 3.5mm plug to a computer, and makes them work with RodeConnect. But what I actually expected was a full-blown audio interface for XLR microphones. And while Rode does already have such a USB audio interface, the AI1, but that's just nothing special. It feels like it's been added to the product range so that Rode can include it in different recording or studio bundles, but that's pretty much the sole purpose of its existence, if I can venture a guess. Now, a new 2022 audio interface from Rode could be quite different and quite unique too. Ideally, it would be a combination of the AI1 and the AI Micro. In the first place, I wish it would be one that works with the magnificent RodeConnect software, which means that it would have onboard digital signal processing, DSP, to add low-cut filter, bass boost, clarity enhancer, compressor, and a limiter. By the way, very few dedicated external signal chains have these 5 together. So as RodeConnect has 4 mic channels, it should also have 4 XLR inputs, hopefully combo jacks, as it would be, after all, an audio interface. So why restrict it on microphones? But not only that, wouldn't it be great if it right away had the capabilities of the AI Micro and add 3.5mm inputs beside all mic inputs with plug-in power, so that you could right away use all your beloved Rode video microphones as well? Of course, they should include independently switchable phantom power for each channel for condenser mics. It could have a built-in Bluetooth channel with auto mix minus, as well as a USB loopback, also with auto mix minus. Actually, it would also make sense if RodeConnect could get a Bluetooth channel instead of the interface. Best of all, it could finally pave the way for the, wait for it, RodeConnect mobile app. Now that would truly be a portable pro podcast package. And that was truly a 4PL iteration. I would call it the Rode AI 4, because of the 4 inputs, right? And it would be a combination of the AI Micro and AI1. You get it. We'll get back to Rode towards the end of this video with a wishlist for the RodeCaster Pro II, as that deserves its own section. So on to my next favorite device, the fantabulous Zoom Podtrak P5. Wait, I can actually show it to you. It's plain and simple. I think every single podcaster should have this device. And also those who have a partner. Sorry. There's really no reason not to have it. It is a fantastically capable and portable device with built-in mix minus for a TRRS phone connection, and for USB devices, a built-in low-cut filter, and a pretty effective, albeit digital, limiter, 4 mic inputs, 4 headphone ports, 4 sound pads, and a dead easy and reliable operation and file management, which make it really a dream interface for podcasters. Can it be improved? Sure it can be. I would love to see a Zoom Podtrak P4 Pro in 2022, or you know what? Let's don't be shy. A Zoom Podtrak P5, and I'll tell you why we'll call it the P5 in a second. It would have a dedicated line output, although you can use one of the headphone ports for this purpose, which leads me to the next point. It would have cleaner headphone outputs. Currently they are a little noisy, albeit it does not affect recording quality. Then, this is a big one, built-in Bluetooth with auto mix minus and a separate gain knob, and this is why it could be even called a Podtrak P5. More sound pads with changeable colors maybe, a dark color screen, it just looks better, multi-track USB output please, and maybe for those video production people out there, a 48 kHz 24-bit recording would be just nice. And finally, a 1/4 inch thread on the back to mount it on a tripod. And how it could look like? Here you go. As you can see right here, you have the 5th channel that can either be a mic input or switched over to Bluetooth. You have a large dark color screen, and if it looks familiar, that's no coincidence, but I won't tell you why. However, you can guess it in the comments. 8 sound pads. It would be larger, but honestly, as long as it has the 1/4 inch tripod thread at the bottom, I don't really care, and would still be the most portable device that can handle up to 5 people, including max 3 remote guests. I would even pay as much as, let's be careful here, 300 euros for such a device. They would sell like hotcakes, believe me. Zoom, please make it. I will make a playlist on this channel exclusively about that. Tascam. Next up is the freshly introduced Tascam Mixcast 4. Stay in place. I made a review about it, highlighting 13 unique features that make it stand out even from a very limited number of dedicated podcasting devices, but there are a few improvements I would actually like to see, and this is the device, by the way, where most of what I wish for does not actually even require new hardware, only some solid firmware updates. Updates like the sound banks that can be changed while recording, ducking to work with the sound pads too. Currently it only lowers the volume for the other input channels, but not for the sound pads, even though it's already a step ahead of the RodeCaster Pro, as that, to my knowledge, only lowers the mic channels when ducking is enabled. Then a USB power option, then putting all manual settings on one page, so no confusion about whether there is a second page or not where you would find a setting that just happens to be the most important one. See the pro tip video about the Mixcast 4 if you're curious. I would love to see Zoom's file management versus the Polywave files. Not a huge deal, and I will have a short video on how to split Polywave files even if you don't use the proprietary software, but it could save a lot of space on the SD card mainly. And finally, a smaller footprint. Well, this obviously requires a new hardware, but you know what? I'm kind of fine with it if they sort out the rest through firmware updates. But if they do make a new unit, I would actually change the faders from the cheap-looking current ones to something like matte whites with a little less wobbly operation, and maybe, just maybe, I would make these indicators here capacitive, so that touching them would actually put you into the mic channel settings right away. Then the moment we've been waiting for, the Røde RodeCaster Pro II. What would a RodeCaster Pro II be capable of? Well, it would have combo jacks and a dedicated extra line input for keyboards and a guitar. Dedicated 3.5mm line output for cameras and video switchers. Again a dedicated 3.5mm mic input with plug-in power for Rode's video microphones, like the AI4 USB audio interface prediction I made a few minutes ago. Then a little wider gain range, so the Tascam Mixcast 4 has 64 decibels. I think the new RodeCaster Pro could live with something about 60 decibels. And then, visual soundpad name indicators. Tascam did that very well on the Mixcast 4, so Rode could use this idea and implement it in their own design language. Or, just like this maybe? They could also have colored headphone dials to easily identify which headphone knob is which, especially if they keep them in this square shape. I would also love to see Zoom's file management versus the polywave files, similarly as with Tascam, and finally a smaller footprint. So if Rode releases these two units in 2022, the RodeCaster Pro II and the AI4 USB audio interface with a software update for Rode Connect to enable the Bluetooth channel, that probably keeps them as the first choice for podcasters. Fingers crossed, although if Zoom would release the Podtrak P5 with the aforementioned features at an acceptable price of say €300, that would sweep the podcasting market like an avalanche. And then finally, there are things I wish to see for every mentioned device, so I've collected them into the accessories category. Certain instant gets for me would be a low latency wireless headphone for monitoring, maybe even built into these devices, although that might interfere with the Bluetooth input, a Bluetooth controlled battery operated on-air telelight that can be easily sticked or mounted on the studio door, for instance with a magnet in the style of the Rode Magnet Go, like you would stick the on-air sign on one side of the door and the magnet on the other side and the door is in between, and it would hold it in place. That would be nice, no drilling. And this could be activated as soon as you press record on the device and light up red outside the door so that the family knows that you are busy recording. And finally, carrying cases that fit not only the devices, most notably this still doesn't have a dedicated carrying case, but then it would fit also all the mics with cables and a laptop and tablet maybe. And that's it. Let me know in the comments what devices or podcasting gear evolution you are looking for. I'm genuinely interested in your wish list. Rest assured, if I could come up with this list, you can be pretty sure that the mentioned companies, with all their quality engineering stuff, did that as well. So if that's true, we have an exciting 2022 ahead of us. With that, thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe if you found this video entertaining or helpful. Bye for now.